I'm kind of late to the party. No, I'm very late to the party. Have you heard of this movie on Netflix called Compliance? It was released in 2012 and it stars Dreama Walker and Dowd. It's really good. I just finished watching it because it had been trending on TikTok. And so I decided to watch it today. And it is fascinating, such a fascinating story. It's based on a true story of this 18-year-old girl who worked at McDonald's. They don't use McDonald's in the movie. She worked at a fast food restaurant and was essayed by a supervisor because of a pranked call. So one day, the supervisor, played by Dowd, gets a call from a man who says he's a police officer and they are investigating a theft. And the person who allegedly stole from a customer, her real name is Louise, but is played by Dreama Walker. And so she's taken into this closet and held against her will. So the supervisor, played by Dowd, is called by someone pretending to be a police officer. She doesn't know that they're pretending. He sounds convincing. And he says they're investigating a theft and that the suspect is Louise, played by Dreama Walker. They changed the names and the store, but it's Louise. She worked at McDonald's. And so Dreama Walker, thinking it's innocent and knows she's going to be proven innocent, says, okay, you can check my bag and everything. I didn't steal from a customer. This prank caller said that money was stolen from a customer. She said, well, maybe I didn't give her back the right amount, but I didn't steal from anyone. Prank caller goes on for like 3 hours. This supervisor is convinced to strip search Dreama and hold her hostage, really, in this closet naked until this police officer arrives, and that they're working on a subsequent investigation of her brother, who is alleged to have been a drug dealer. This is all a scam, and that they were at the house executing a warrant, but that she was to remain naked without access to her clothes. He convinces Anne to put Dreama's clothes in her car until they get there. And because it's a busy fast food restaurant, Anne's like, listen, I got to get to work. I got a shift to take care of. I have to have someone else watch her. And she sends in employees, but they're like, listen, I don't want anything to do with this. And so she calls her fiance, calls him to watch Dreama. And even he is feeling uncomfortable, but he still assaults her in real life, assaults her. And so turns out that this was all a prank, and it had been going on at least 70 times in this area at different fast food restaurants, McDonald's and Wendy's and so forth. But Louise, the real girl, sues McDonald's. She wins over $6 million in punitive and compensatory damages. McDonald's, who at this time in 2007 was worth nearly $30 billion, appealed $6 million. They appealed, citing it had to be workers' comp. Recently, that appeal was overturned, and the appeals court said that McDonald's had to pay her. But can you imagine having to suffer through this at 18 years old, vulnerable to everyone in the store, butt naked, assaulted, and McDonald's appeals? Good thing they didn't win on appeal, but they dragged this out all these years. They could have stroked her a check so that she can get on with her life. But anyway, this story is so fascinating that the prank caller got away with this. The prank caller was apprehended and tried and acquitted, granted, and the supervisor should have known that this was unseemly, that this had to have been a violation of her rights. And she was never, meaning Dreama, the character she's playing, was never even read her rights. Like, this didn't make sense, even retrospectively, But also in the moment, this made absolutely no sense. Even the employees was like, this is not right. And this isn't even like her. Anyway, and the character she was playing, she was convicted and granted probation while her fiance was convicted and sentenced to 5 years in prison. He assaulted her. I hadn't heard about this until it was trending on TikTok. I had not heard about this in the news. This is wild.